I want to go into different groupings of karma, and you will find here some very maybe painful but practical points. First one is karma that we are creating now. Remember, every action, every thought is producing karma. Mind goes, body moves. We are active in this world of activity. And with every action we put into motion that law of cause and effect. And so now we have to watch, we have to introspect, we have to analyze that we are not piling up more bad karma for ourselves, but that we are living in harmony with the divine law and we are creating good karma. Now here underlying is the basic thought. And this is what the Master said, there is a philosophic aspect to this law. The foundation is that we understand what the purpose of life is, what the goal of life is. Without that, we are sunk. Without that, we are bound to get caught in intricate, complex machinery of this divine law. And here now we have to understand, as the Master said, God did not mean to create a place of permanent happiness for you here. This is not our home. This is, as some saints said, this is exile. Now, I know you all know that. You have heard it in the services. You have read it again and again in the Master's writings. And you know this is not our home. The ultimate fulfillment cannot be found in any external things, only within. Because, as I said last time, we are eternal. And we are seeking the Absolute. And the Absolute cannot be found in anything external because there are no absolutes in this creation. Now, do we really understand? Do we really know? That's the big question. Do we really know? Because if we really know, it means that we are here, we are conscious that we are here in this school. We are here to learn our lessons. We are here not thinking, not hoping or expecting to find fulfillment or satisfaction in anything external. And that means not in outer conditions, it means not in outer accomplishments, it means in no outer possessions, and it means in no human relationships. Hard, isn't it? If we really understand, this is what it amounts to, that we are not expecting fulfillment, I say this, I purposely repeat this because this is vitally important. This is the whole basis of life, of yoga philosophy, and the understanding of the law of cause and effect. We are not supposed to expect fulfillment in anything external. Possessions, outer accomplishments, human relationships, and so on. We are in school. We are here to play our role, to fulfill our duties which are given to us by our karma. We are here to learn, to understand, to grow, to pass the final examination, and to get out. One man said to me, well, I like it here. He said, I have a nice job. And in pretty good health. And my wife is, acceptable, he said. And so I like it. I said, you just wait. Because things, the conditions, there's this, this universe is based on change. There's nothing permanent. Who wants to put his security and his peace in something which changes all the time and you never know how it's going to change? It's just not a good business investment, isn't it? So, now how are we going to do that? Lord Krishna gives the answer in the Bhagavad Gita. He said, whatever actions thou dost perform, O Arjuna, and that goes for each one of us, whether in eating, or observing spiritual rites, or in gift bestowing, or in self-disciplining, dedicate them all as offerings unto me. Thus no action of thine can enchain thee with good or evil karma. You're free. That's the key. Not working for self. Do it as a love offering for God. Everything you do. Recently, a young man wrote to Mother Center, after he had read this, how in the world can I eat strawberries for the love of God? He must have had a strawberry fixation. But anyway, well, have you heard me tell this story? There was an exclusive dinner party in London. And one of the guests was a philosopher. And delicious food was served, and he ate that with great delight. And another guest was observing this, and he teasingly said, I didn't know that philosophers can enjoy such mundane things. And he said, why not? Do you think the good Lord created all those nice things just for blockheads? This is not a cruel game. This is when Master used to say, all your external experiences should be only fun. We are created in joy. Our nature is bliss. Why shouldn't we enjoy this? And if a person finds it too hard if the mind doesn't accept that he can eat strawberries and ice cream and stuff for the love of God, then give thanks to God. Not because he needs our thanks, he doesn't. But we very much need that connection. Now, non-attachment, if you're saying not to work for the ego satisfaction, non-attachment does not mean indifference. It does not mean to have no ambitions. It's very tricky, isn't it? Very tricky. Master said when God created this universe, he really put his mind to it. So, he said the lazy, negligent person who has no ambition to please God by good actions on earth has to return until he learns to work solely for this purpose. Tricky, isn't it? Hard. Now, as many people write, and particularly young people are writing us to headquarters and they say, well, I have no ambition in life. I don't have a great desire to become a great businessman or scientist or whatever. No ambition. That's not the point. That's not the point at all, because if a person says, I have no ambition, then he has to ask himself, do I then have a flaming desire for God? And usually it is not that wide, because that tremendous desire for God alone, that doesn't come just like that. That has to be cultivated. And I tell you, sometimes I think that when a person has no ambition, it is in many cases the result of drugs. And I would like to warn, if anybody is still smoking marijuana and so on, particularly marijuana. Why? It destroys ambition. It destroys the capacity to concentrate. It destroys willpower. Don't do it. You are destroying the very instruments which you need to find God. So the key is not to have no ambition, but to have ambition for God. So the Master said, the egotist who works only to satisfy himself becomes entrapped in an endless net of desires from which he can extricate himself only after many incarnations. Therefore, be neither idle nor absent-minded nor egotistically ambitious, but rather be divinely ambitious to please God. To please God, not anybody else, God. Work and play on earth with the right mental attitude, in harmony with the will of the divine director. That's the key. That is the solution. Now I saw the greatest example for that is, to me, what I have observed, that great disciple of Masters, Rajarsi Janakananda. Because he was born in a poor home, he had great ambition to make a success of life. He worked very hard, great determination, great willpower, and when he had reached the goal, when he was a business tycoon, he told me, when I had my first million, I said, now what? Totally frustrated, because he realized his money could not give him satisfaction. And then it was when he met the Master. And then he changed, not his work. He did not give up his business. He changed his attitude. Before that, he had worked for self. After that, he worked for God. Master told him. He followed the Guru. And he said it is one of the greatest inspirations. Your role is meant to show that you can have success and reach the peak of success, material success, and at the same time spiritual success. And so it is usually. The switch comes first, we do it for self. Being on a spiritual path, and you gain a deeper understanding what life is all about, and particularly understand the deep, deep blessings of God and Guru. And you really understand what God has given us through the Guru and what the Guru does. Then the saints say, I cannot find enough to show God my appreciation. You want to please God. And so you become ambitious to please God. Play your role, whatever it is, and meditate. That's the highest form of action. And now when I say this, there's another trap. It's awfully tricky. Awfully tricky. When we say, or when we think, I am doing it to please God and to please my Guru, we have to watch. Is it true? Or is the ego hanging in, sneaking in, and it is really a rationalization to defend the ego's actions? Now some of you have heard me tell that story when I was with some monks out in a desert, and we were I saw this ugly desert bush, and I decided to destroy it, and just about did. Thinking, rationalizing, I am doing it for Master, so that he doesn't have to look at that ugly desert bush. And then in my heart I knew exactly that was contrary to the instructions of Master. Completely contrary. So we have to very carefully watch that it is not the rationalizations of the ego, because rationalizations of the ego cannot change spiritual law. Let's give you another example. One time, Indaya Mataji told us that story. She said she and some other monastics were with Master, and they were discussing a monk who was no longer with the organization. And he was still teaching the techniques. And he asked Master about it. Can he do it? Master emphatically said, God and Babaji ordained me to establish this organization. And this is the organization through which they work to spread the teachings. There is none other. And then one of the monastics asked, but sir, he's still giving Kriya. Is it the same? Master said it is not the same. The ties are broken. No, that is serious business. We cannot rationalize the ego. We have to ask sincerely, are we working with the law, divine law, or against it? Rationalizations of the ego cannot change divine law. If a person goes against the instructions of the Master, the Guru, that's heavy karma.